Okay, for my third functional movement assessment, I'll be doing this virtually due to the current social distancing restrictions in Tasmania due to COVID-19. And I'll be undertaking it with my friend Melissa. So I will video the instructions and myself undertaking the exercises, and then I will forward them on to Melissa. She will then video herself performing the exercises, and then I will analyse the functional movement once she gets those videos back to me. So Melissa, the first exercise we'll be undertaking will be the overhead shoulder press. So during this exercise, what we are looking for is really good spine extension. So keep the shoulders rolled back, not rounding forward or arching the spine. A good way to visualise this is to imagine there is a thread connecting from the top of your head up to the ceiling, and that will help to keep your posture in neutral alignment. We want your feet approximately shoulder distance apart and your knees soft, so they are just slightly bent. We don't want to see your knees completely locked out, we want them slightly soft and bent. We want a good external rotation through the shoulders. So the action actually looks like this. This is the starting point. So we want a 90-degree angle between the wrist, the elbow and the shoulders. And that is our starting point and our end point for the exercise as well. So what we need to do is we've got the 90-degree angle from the wrist to the elbow to the shoulders, and we're simply going to raise up above the head without locking the elbows completely out, so there's still a soft bend there, and bring it back down. And up. And back down. Keeping that neutral spine, activate those glute muscles. So that way it will help push your pelvis forward so that we don't have any sort of anterior tilt or posterior tilt too far one way. If I can get you to do between 6 and 10 of the overhead shoulder press for me, that would be fantastic. Thanks, Mel.
Right, that's a fight up there. What's that thingy there for, Dad? What's that thing there for, Dad? There. Don't touch it.
Mhm.
All of these shotguns. Dad, where's the Snapchat of the rifle? Where's the Snapchat of the rifle, Dad?
Okay, Melissa, thank you for sending through your videos to me of your overhead press and your deadlift. I've had a look at them, and I've identified some things that we'll be able to work on through a program for you. So firstly, with your overhead press, I noticed that when you were coming up for the movement, you were starting to lean back a little bit. And I'm assuming maybe that's because you were trying and overthinking, trying not to round those shoulders forward. So you were trying to keep them pulled back, but as a result, it's pulled your whole body back. So one way we can rectify that is to strengthen up those pec muscles in the chest, and that way they'll naturally pull your shoulders back into the natural space where they should be. I noticed there was some immobility as well throughout the top of the movement. So your shoulders weren't allowing you to come up to the full range of motion that it probably should allow. So I think we could program up some stretches for that, just to loosen up the muscles of the upper trapezius, so in your back, and also in your lats as well, which run down either side of your back. By loosening up those, it will lengthen that muscle and allow you to gain that full range of movement for that overhead shoulder press. But that was a great demonstration so that we know now what areas we need to focus on to get your body up and running where it should be. Okay, Mel, for our next functional movement assessment, I'm going to get you to perform an exercise called the deadlift. I'll be doing this with just some weight plates because that's all I have here at the moment, but I know you've got some dumbbells, so you are more than welcome to perform this exercise with your dumbbells. Now, it doesn't matter, I'm going to ask you to do between 6 and 10 repetitions. If you can't get that out or you feel any pain, please just stop it right there. This is going to give me a good indication of what we need to program for you and what sort of imbalances or tightness or weakness you may have within your body. So please stop if you feel you can't do any more or you're feeling any pain. So I want you to begin basically as you did with your overhead press, so the same posture. So what we want to see again is that nice spinal extension. So stand up nice and tall as if there's that thread connecting you up. Shoulders roll back, glutes activated. And for this one, we also want to switch our core on because that is going to help you perform a lot of the movement and stop that back from arching. So if you don't have those core muscles turned on, then your pelvis will tend to either tilt one way or another. So really make sure the glutes are switched on and the core muscles are switched on. Okay, shoulders roll back because we don't want to see any of this. And our chest needs to be up nice and tall. And it's going to stay nice and tall throughout the entire movement. So if you imagine you're doing this in front of a mirror and you have a logo on your shirt, then you still want to be able to see that logo throughout the entirety of the exercise. Okay? So what you're going to do, again, your feet are about hip distance apart here. You're going to hold your dumbbells in front of you. Your knees are going to be soft again. So they're not going to be locked out. They'll be nice and soft. Glutes are activated. Pelvis is tucked under. Shoulders roll back. You're going to keep your eyes forward as well. So as you're going to keep the dumbbells close to your legs and you're just going to tilt from the hip. Okay, so it's not a squat. You're only tilting from the hip. And your knees will only bend a little bit more throughout the exercise, so they won't bend a lot. Okay, so bending from the hip, activate those glutes and that core and bend down, keeping that chest up, keeping your eyes forward until you feel a stretch in the back of the thighs. So until you feel a stretch in those hamstring muscles, and it doesn't matter whether you come down further than I am here or whether you can only get to here. That'll give us a good indication again of what exercises we need to program for you to help balance out any weaknesses and range of movement issues. And come back up. And what we're looking for is 2 counts down. 1, 2, hold 1 second and then back up. 1, 2. Okay? So once you start to feel that tightness in the hamstrings, in the back of the leg, then that's the ideal distance for you to travel for your deadlift. And as you can see, my chest remains up the entire time. My eyes are focused forward and just keep those dumbbells close to your body. Thanks, Mel. Talk soon.
Hey, Jack. Wasted.
Not sure if I'm doing them right.
Let's try that again. Right, you put the pig up when I was in the way. No.
Okay, and for your deadlift, Mel, I could see some slight rolling of the shoulders throughout the beginning of your deadlift movement. Again, similar to the overhead press, we'll work on some exercises to strengthen up the muscles in the chest, so the pec muscles, so that again, they will pull your shoulders back naturally and avoid that dropping of the shoulders, and as a result, your head was dropping a little bit as well. So strengthening the chest will again help those shoulders to sit where they are required to be. At the completion of the movement, so at the very end of the movement, we're required the shoulders to lock back. Again, there appeared to be some immobility throughout that section of the exercise. Again, it seems as if those trap muscles, again, like we saw in the shoulder press, and the rhomboids as well in the back, they may be a bit weak. So again, strengthen those up, stretch them out, lengthen and strengthen, and we'll be on the road to recovery there. There was also, I noticed, a slight amount of pelvic tilt, so that there was, when you're coming down and hinging at the hip, there was a curve in the base of your spine, and then when you came up again, there was a curve there. It wasn't a lot, but there was enough to tell me that there may be some weaknesses in the muscles that are likely to cause that. So it's likely that tight hip flexors, so they're the muscles that run down the front of your leg here, it's likely that that is the cause, meaning that the hamstrings in the back of your leg will also be compromised. So they're being affected there as well. So we can strengthen up the muscles and loosen them up in the hip flexors and the hamstrings. And also we'll strengthen those core muscles and strengthen up that the glute muscles, so that we can avoid that curve in the lower back. Thanks again, Mel.